Hey, what's up? I'm Ellie and welcome back to my excuse me. To my channel. So I am still very much on the Animal Crossing New Horizons kick. Okay, just deep into it. I know it's been a month. I know that. I'm still very deep into it, okay? It is my escapism currently. So I wanted to take the trend of matching books essentially to something else. We've had outfits, I've done wigs. I plan on doing plants in the future, so there's more coming of this, but you know, and I know I just did outfits like a week ago. I wanted to do this anyway. So I am going to kind of match, but more recommend books to my current Islander villagers. I'm going to recommend them books based on their personalities. Now, currently at this time, I only have 9 Islanders, villagers, or whatever, because I refuse to put down my last house until I know for sure where it's going, and until I have enough Nook miles that I will be able to find one of my dream villagers, essentially. So I'm also hoping for at least 2 of these villagers to move out. Let's go ahead and get into these recommendations. Of course, you have 2 villagers to start off with, one of which for me was Muffy, who is a little goth sweetheart who was apparently also a pastel queen. I walked into her house and I was like, not what I was expecting. She says that she likes to rock out to punk music, and then I go into her house and she's always listening to classical tunes, so Muffy, is you drunk? Singing a lot. Everyone always tells me that she's really into flowers and that she's like a master with flowers, but I have never once ever in my time of playing seen her water a flower. I don't know, why aren't you watering flowers, you lazy piece of wool? She is sisterly and I do love her very much. So basically she's kind of a spiky looking cinnamon roll. She's tough on the outside, but so sweet and ooey gooey on the inside. She's such a sweetheart. So for this, I thought a perfect book would be The Shadows Between Us. My copy is purple, and she is, you know, purple and black, and this is purple and black. So this is very fitting to her aesthetic as well. But I just think she would really like this. It's a romance, so it's not too rough. Kind of dislike to like relationship, and there is much banter, and I just think that she would like the dark atmosphere with the romance intertwined. So if you guys don't know, it's about a girl who decides she's gonna kill the king because she thinks she's better. Essentially, in order to do that, she has to marry him first and then kill him. So, you know, things happen. Next we have Axel, and he is a jock, but he is literally my nicest villager ever. We are best friends. He has nicknamed me Goalie, and now the whole island calls me Goalie. I don't know why. He is always giving me gifts. Sometimes he gives me 3 gifts a day. I didn't even know they could do that. Never ever complains when I talk to him more than once, which is unheard of. All my other villagers are like, is this island too small for us or what? I don't know why you gotta be so rude. Always talking to the other villagers, and they are always over at his house. Like, he constantly has people over at his house. No one comes to my house. He's just such a nice guy, and he is only there for a good time. He only wants the good vibes. You know, he's friends with everyone. I think he'd be a huge Rick Riordan fan, but for this I decided on The Serpent's Secret. That series is very good. I think it's great for fans of Rick Riordan. It is a middle grade series. It is so much fun. It's got that perfect mixture of adventure, a little bit of darkness intertwined. It's got like fart jokes, things like that. It's just very fun and adventurous, and I think that is exactly what Axel would want in his life. Next we have Lucky. I was so lucky to find Lucky within like my first few attempts on an island to find villagers, and he is my absolute favorite. But you know, he's lazy. All he does is talk about talking to bugs and eating, and that is about it. He is also super sensitive. He has cried more than any other villager, and I mean, he's like the only villager who has cried on my island. It's basically any time anyone even looks at him weird, he cries. Someone mentioned cinnamon rolls and he burst into tears. He has also threatened to leave despite me showering him with love and gifts all the time. Lucky. Why would you do it? I was nearly distraught when he asked to leave, and I was like, you have to live here forever. You're the only one who's not allowed to leave. So I think he would need something pretty quick because he's lazy and he seems to just, he can't concentrate on anything. The other day he like switched between 3 outfits within a minute. Didn't know what was happening. He then had his net, and then he had out his fishing pole, and then he had his net again, and then he just started sprinting. So we honestly can't pay attention to something very long. So I thought a graphic novel, and then a middle grade graphic novel because he's sensitive and we don't, you know, we don't want to get too into topics, but I also wanted something that had bugs in it. So I thought the Backstagers would be really great. It is an all-boys school, and they basically they run the backstage of the theater production, but there is a magical realm beyond their door in their room, and so they end up running into things, and I do think there's spiders involved or something along the lines of that. So I think he would just really enjoy that. It's really fun. Then we have Bianca. Bianca is peppy. She's always talking about being famous. Multiple villagers, however, have questioned her talent, so sorry, Bianca. She's always telling me how fashionable I am, and I catch her running around the island literally all day long, every day. Just do the little runs in the same like square all day long. She's a little egotistical. She's worried about appearance, and she's a little sassy. So I thought City of Girls would be the best for her because it takes place in kind of like a famous realm, but it's not quite about someone who's like the typical sense of being famous. She goes to live with her aunt who runs a theater, and she ends up designing the costumes and stuff for the theater. She sews, and that's kind of how she gets her name. But this is her writing a letter to someone, and this someone is like, how did you know my father? So this woman is detailing her life and the events that led up to meeting this person's father, and you had to guess who that man is, but it's about so many other things, and it is about just over the top life and her different outfits and being who she is and not caring what anyone else thinks, and it was just, it's so good. One of the best books ever, honestly. Y'all sleeping on it. And we have Nan. I love Nan so much. When I first invited her, I was like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll invite this goat thing. And now I just love her to pieces. I think it's because she calls me kid, and I know that's just like her phrase that she says, but it just makes me feel like she's like this old, welcoming soul. So, yeah, I just feel like she's old and kind just because she calls me kid all the time. She is always watering the flowers. Thank you, Nan. Thank you. Bless ya. And she's talking up the people who visit my island literally all the time. Anytime I have a conversation with her, she's like, how's so-and-so doing from that island? How they doing? Talks about her home a lot. Anytime she's not talking about someone else visiting my island, she is talking about home and how she is writing home, or she plans to write to home, and talks about her family. So Nan is very family oriented. She's very cozy. I just have such a soft spot for her, and she seems a little bit innocent. So I think for this I would do I'll Give You the Sun. This does have a family-centered storyline about two twins, and you follow from two different points of views, but also two different timelines. So in one of the twins' points of view, you get back when they were very close, and the other point of view is in the present, and it is they no longer speak to each other, and you have to kind of figure out what happened in between as you go in between these two timelines. But very family oriented, and I think Nan would understand that, and the things and the struggles with having a family, you know, and being creative and things like that. So I just think that she would love that. Next we have Jacques. He is been an undergrad for 10 years stoner bird thing. I don't even think that just describes his personality, I feel like. So do I need to tell you anymore? His house it's a DJ booth. I hate everything about it. I hate it all. He's always singing off key in my plaza or by the riverbank by his house. He doesn't talk to anyone else. He's always by his lonesome. Anytime he does talk to anyone, he makes them cry. So probably for the best. He's a little bit of a loner, and he seems pretty cocky. Very much giving me hipster wannabe vibes. Very much into probably philosophy. Nothing wrong with that. But just in that kind of like, I want to get stoned at a party and talk about philosophies that don't actually matter. So, that being said, he would probably want to read a more hipster book that has an underlying layer of philosophy, and for that I would go with The Mystery of Pittsburgh. I love this book, so no hate against it, but I just feel like that is something that he would read because I feel like that's a pretty typical hipster literary fiction type of book, and I just think that he would really enjoy that. It is, I can't even remember what it's about. There is, he is dealing with a romantic relationship with his girlfriend as well as his friendship with someone else, and just like the underlying currents of life and how these things tug at your heartstring. I don't even know. It's been so long since I read it, but I remember loving it. But I just think that he would love that. And then we have Octavian. Oh, Octavian. Let me tell you, I was very surprised to find that people want Octavian on their island because the man is ugly. The octopus is ugly. And he is just scrunched up and all the time. I kind of look like him right now, but I can't stand him, and he makes everyone so upset. All my villagers are currently not speaking to him. No one is speaking to him. I'm avoiding him. We all just, anytime they see him, they literally like turn around and leave because no one likes Octavian. He's a damn grouch. He is literally mad at everyone all the time. He's just kind of creepy. But the big thing here is that he loves space. His whole house is space decked out. It's weird. It's unusual. He is always giving me the weirdest DIYs, like, sir, what happened to you? Yeah, why are you so angry? So the main thing that popped into my head is that obviously he wants some sort of revenge plot, something that is full of dark secrets and other lying things, and also set in space. And then, what better book than Red Rising, which also has the color red in the title, which everything about that young sir, old sir, I don't even know how old he is, everything about him is red. Personality, red. Color of skin, red. Mood, red. Next we have Flurry. Oh, Flurry. Flurry has impeccable taste when it comes to interior design. She is sweet, she is cute, she is precious. She loves to water my flowers. Oh, thank you, girl. And she is constantly reading in the flowers. She's constantly reading. She's smelling the flower. Like, she just lives in the flower. She is me in Animal Crossing form, except for the girly version. I will say though that she must have some self-deprecating humor. There is a dark twistedness to her because she owns a hamster cage and she keeps gifting me hamster cages. What are you trying to tell me, girl? Do you feel like you are trapped on my island? Because you are. Honestly, she is like this little ball of cuteness that will turn around and kick your ass is what I'm getting from that. So she started teaching my villagers things apparently because no one did shit until she arrived, and now everyone does things, but they didn't do anything until she came. She's an icon. I have to go with glitter. So this is kind of like a modern world that decided to take the designs of like a Victorian style. So very much into like the big poofy dresses and kind of the different layers of society, so many rules. Ugh. And I think that she would kind of like that. She would like the fashionable sense of that, but there's this underlying drug problem called glitter, and this follows our main character who of course is trying to infiltrate, I believe, this glitter world and things like that. So I think she'd be into like the aesthetics of this world and also the underlying danger of it. Beau. Beau. Oh, Beau. I learned a thing today. Then we have Beau, and honestly, he's a lovely, adorable looking villager, right? Like, I saw him and I was like, oh, okay, look that he's cute, you know? He just feels so bland. And he's kind of a little creepy. The first time I walked into his house, I was like, look straight out of Sound of Music or Hills Have Eyes. I have not decided. Doesn't seem to like to talk to me ever. It's like the first time I walk up to him and he's like, oh, hello, yeah, why are you talking to me? Like, he just does not seem to like me. He has never given me a gift. Rude. And I gave him a gift, and he is the only villager who has not showcased it in his home. He has nothing in his home. I don't know, there's like a sleeping bag in there, and that's it. He's lazy. He also talks about bugs and snacks all the time, very much, of course, like Lucky, but he just doesn't seem to have any personality other than that yet, and I just catch him, he just is only wandering the orchard all day long, like just up and down the aisles of my orchard all day long. I don't know. So honestly, I don't think he would read anything that I would give him. He would be like, oh yeah, thank you, and then he would just throw it in the nearest dumpster. But if I would give him anything, it'd probably be Rant, which has spiders in it, so I think he would like that, and it does seem to have at least one thing in common with The Hills Have Eyes, so he might like that as well. It's a weird time travel book. There's a lot of layers to it. It's very confusing, and it's kind of really fucked up and gross, but he might be into that. I don't know. That is all the recommendations that I have for my current villagers. Maybe I'll do an updated one if I get different villagers in the future and you guys are interested in that. Are you interested in the Animal Crossing content that I am putting out? This is like my second video and I have at least 3 more planned. Are you guys into that? If you are into that, let me know. If you don't, well, I'm sorry. I hope you guys have liked this video. Don't forget to Don't forget to subscribe to see future videos from me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.